What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today you're joining Bethany and I, and we are in Lillesand, Norway. We're in a Volkswagen ID.3 that loves to chime at us. Right now it's saying traffic hazard alert is currently restricted. Car, I don't care. We are headed along the coast. We're heading to Stavanger is how I was told it's pronounced. I think, right? Stavanger?
Sure.
Yeah, I was pronouncing it Stavanger, which is apparently not correct, but that's okay. There was an electric delivery van that just passed, or like delivery box truck that just passed behind us. But first we're stopping in Kristiansand. There's a lighthouse. So let me show you guys the route. We'll reset some trips and we'll get going. Let me see how far it is just in general to Stavanger. We're also going to be taking the coastal route. So it looks like Stavanger is loading 160 miles with the route that roughly we want to go. So that's pretty fun. Actually, no, that's the faster route. So it'll be probably a bit longer going the coastal route. So let me show you guys that route. Bethany, are you looking forward to spending a lot of time on the coast?
I like the coast.
Are you looking forward to less charging stops? Yeah, today's going to be less charging stops and more scenic driving. So definitely tune in for that. So here are our stats from yesterday. So the since start and then the long term. I'm going to leave the long term. We'll reset this since start. I don't really know what that since start is, but let's hope that that works for today's trip. But worst case, we'll just extrapolate out from the long term. And then here's from the since charge. We charged basically before we got to the hotel last night, not that far away. Let's see if CarPlay is up and running here. I guess going in that way shows it via the phone app. So let me just swap it to be this lighthouse. That's not the lighthouse. I'm just doing this on my phone here. It's easier. I think it's the Odderøya Lighthouse, I think is how you pronounce it. Let's go the more coastal route for 4 minutes longer. And let's get on the road. We had some breakfast at the hotel. And before we get going, here you can see we're at 70% state of charge. We have about 36 kilowatt hour in the battery. And yeah, there you can see the rest of the stats. Battery is fairly cold at about 15 C. So before we fast charge, we'll definitely want to warm it up a little bit. I don't know if it has preconditioning or if we'll just need to warm it up with driving. Well, we just explored the, I guess, like, military ruins, I guess is the best way to put it. It was like a bunker kind of thing. We're at Odderøya Fort, I think is what it's called. Just south of Kristiansand on like a little peninsula thing, which is actually pretty cool. Looks like it's basically overlooking the entire Kristiansand harbor. I'm looking at the map here. So it looks like it's a pretty good spot, like defensively for Norway. For anyone coming through, I don't know what the name of the channel is here, but the waterway between Denmark and Norway, which is a very narrow spot at this point, like right there, if you can see. So I guess that is a very good defensive point. What did you think?
It was cool. It was a little cold.
It is a little breezy out there. I thought it felt good. But yeah, it was, they had these like domes, or at least one was left, that was concrete with crazy amounts of rebar as it was starting to be exposed. And like I could look in the back door, and the back door was like 4-inch thick steel, which is crazy. And then they had like a ladder in it and like little bunks and stuff, so people probably were in there. And they had like slots that were really, really narrow at the back, but opened up a bit towards the front. So that way people could like shoot guns and stuff out of it or whatever. And
Cannons.
they were not big enough for cannons.
No.
I think maybe cannons outside of the fort thing. But we're going to drive by Starbucks that Bethany found, see what the parking situation is. If it's not terrible to park, then maybe we'll stop in so that she can get her decaf coffee.
Yeah.
Since that's apparently hard to find here. At least decaf espresso.
Both.
Yeah, she doesn't
We
drink
haven't
caffeine.
seen any since Oslo.
Yeah. I had a Red Bull this morning, so I'm good on caffeine, but I'll probably still get a coffee.
I just want something hot.
I want something cold.
It's cold outside.
She wouldn't let me have the windows open in the hotel room last night, so it was like a sauna.
It felt great. And then you opened the door to the hallway and it was an icicle.
Felt great. Not having air conditioning is a struggle here, because you can't just set a temperature.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, let's head into Kristiansand, and then we'll head to, what's the name of this town? Then we'll head towards Ostad or Flekkefjord. I'm probably totally butchering that. And then that's kind of where we'll stay on like the E18 there. And then as we go from that area, then we'll go along the coast all the way up to Stavanger. And Stavanger is where we're spending the night today, or tonight. Because it's 11:40 now, so we got to cover some miles so that we're not arriving super late tonight.
We've been lollygagging.
Yes. And you're not helping with wanting Starbucks.
That's okay.
Then you can't complain about the lollygagging.
I wasn't complaining. I just said we had been.
Let's add Starbucks on here as a stop. 0.8 miles away. I'm sure I'm going to get some comments for using miles, but it's okay.
And that's what your brain comprehends. It's
Yeah.
just what your brain comprehends.
We've driven 38 kilometers so far, and we've averaged 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour. It was mostly doing like back roads. I mean, I was not going slow, but I definitely wasn't going like full speed or anything.
Not US speeds.
No. Like, I was going at a reasonable pace, but that's still like 40, 50 miles an hour here. But it was nice going on roads that the speed limit actually matched the speed that you would want to drive versus just being artificially low. And there's a person just sitting here in the middle of the road. Now they're moving.
Mm-hmm. He's just saying.
There's a bee on the outside of the car, too.
I don't understand how the bees are all still alive
It's not that cold
in
yet.
this cold. I guess, but it's colder.
There are a lot of people that didn't realize that you could drive up here because they're all hiking up this fairly steep road that I would not want to do.
Yeah, if we were hiking up the steep mountain, we probably wouldn't be doing it today.
No. We've got, mostly for time's sake. Like, could I do it? Absolutely. But I would not spend half an hour walking up this hill.
I also don't have sneakers on.
You're wearing your Birkenstocks. I thought they were the most comfortable shoes in the world.
They are. They're just not necessarily what you want to hike up a mountain in,
I see.
because they don't have ankle support like that.
Mm-hmm.
They are the most comfortable though.
Well, let's see if we can get some Starbucks.
Okay.
We got our Starbucks. I got the tiramisu cold shaken espresso with the oat milk. What'd you get, Bethany?
Decaf mocha.
What mugs did you get?
Norway and Kristiansand.
And there's a Fisker Ocean taxi up here, maybe still, which is quite something. EZ4X. We've got an ID Buzz work van over there. XC40 Recharge. Peugeot 3008. EX30. EQB 300. I guess the Fisker Ocean's gone. And then here's just a random parking lot. Plug-in hybrid RAV4. Model 3. i3. Model Y. And then, of course, some diesels and such. It's also cool how every construction site seems to have power, which is not the case in the US always. But they actually use electric tools and don't have to run generators. I've yet to see a single generator here. How's your coffee? Good as the US?
I haven't tried it yet.
No, too hot. We are in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea what town we're in. But we're just getting off an exit to continue on to Stavanger. And I'm just seeing here on Apple Maps, which is actually very useful. It calls out charging stations. So I'm seeing that there's a recharge station here at the Esso. And I'll just swing by just to show you guys quick. But it's actually, I don't know if it'll be Kempower or Alpatronic actually. But we'll just swing through the parking lot. We don't need to charge. We're at 49%. And there's a few other spots. Looks like we go this way. Oh, this is actually awesome. It's under its own canopy partially. This is quite the setup actually. So let me show you guys this. This is actually really nice. Oh, and there's slow chargers over at a parking ride across the street. So here we go. We've got at least 2 Kempower cabinets there and a whole lot of posts. So this is really awesome to see. So there's 4 Chatham. Oh, they even give you a little map of how to use. I got to take some pictures of this. This is cool. And I actually do want to try out charging here real quick while we're here. Let's find a spot for me. My passenger, it's on the passenger side, so Let's do this. Pull it in here. And let's get this activated and plug in just for a moment.
Why does it think something's in front of you? There's nothing there.
That I don't know. That's very strange. So let's try this out. So these do have payment terminals on them, but we'll use the Elton app. These are showing 200 kilowatt. Let's activate with Elton. Opening that up. So I just plugged in and we're at 4989. So there we go. 4989F. Doesn't show plugged in, but I think that's just their amount. So 6.41 kroner per kilowatt hour. Authorized, we're at 49%. It already got that. English. Follow on mobile. And let's actually try out the Kempower QR code that they love to talk about. I've never actually used it myself. Battery is, again, not preconditioned, so kempower.io. And there we have it. So that's actually pretty cool. I think it, vehicle limits, which makes sense. We don't have a charging, oh, there we have the charging curve. And there we have the current as well. So we currently have 122 amps assigned, and we're using 113. So we'll charge up here for a moment while I take some pictures, but this is pretty cool. They've got these little signs up top with all the information. So the EVSE ID shows the K, which I believe means 400 volt max, whereas L would be 1000 volt, or I guess 500 volt max. You can see the little plate in front for wiring connections. You can see the filters through there. And let's just try out this, or check out the little signage here, because this is pretty cool. So the 4 Chatamo are over here, and then it looks like it's showing that 2 of them are intended for bigger vehicles, I guess. And again, the contrast to the gas pumps, that there's only 6 spots. I don't know what this ABB company is, though. We're at Adele de Luca. I'm impressed. They also have a McDonald's. They have a full playground. Bethany, what did you think of this place?
It's nice. It's the first place we've been with automatic toilets.
Yeah, that is nice. This is like Wawa on steroids, but without the pub sub, or without the Wawa hoagies.
Yeah, not as good of food options. Definitely still convenience store food options.
But like nice convenience store options. Yeah, here you can see the whole setup. So they've got the transformers over there, and 2 of them here, and then you can see these bigger spots. This is a really awesome charging setup, I must say. They even integrated the cabinets well. But I will say, it kind of defeats the entire purpose of having cable management when the cable drags on the ground. It's just very strange to me that that's how these operate. So, flip Bethany back into her car. The car. Is it your car now?
You're my chauffeur, I guess.
Yeah, the passenger princess.
You're a driving princess.
Oh.
Yeah.
See what we got up to. We're up to 66%. We added 10 kilowatt hour, so let's stop it. Unlock car and disconnect the charging cable. Let's see. So I guess maybe I do actually have to unlock the car. Let's see if I can find the key in my pocket. So I guess it only automatically unlocks when you hit the charge limit, because there I just had to unlock it. That is very twisted. So we'll put that back. Stupid flat back. That is really annoying. Put that back. And let's continue on. I've also got car wash over there from Able. I don't know what this Able company is, because I don't see Able over there at all, unless it's just the convenience store operator, I guess. I don't really understand. Here you can see the M for Chatamo. Oh, so let's get in the car. Let's get going. Just driving by a random spot, and there's 3 HYC 400s at a Circle K with some signage even showing it. So just driving down a random road in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, there's just charging everywhere. Yet another random, very small town, like to the point that they have above ground tanks for fuel, liquid fuel. They have charging stations here. Let's see what they are. There's this little grill. I don't know what a Vi grill is.
Looks like camper parking.
Yeah. They have HYC 50s or A50. That's cool. I've never seen one Chatamo. I'm gonna pull into this for a second. I'm just using all the charging infrastructure here. I'm gonna park terribly, but it's okay because I'll only be here for a moment. Well, here we have it. This is the HYC 50. And this is a pedestal mount unit, as you can tell there, with the bolted plate and everything. If I had to guess that this replaced probably a Tritium 50 kilowatt Screamer or one of the bigger ones, but you can also tell that they had a different unit there This like grip plate situation is very interesting to me. I don't really know what the point of that is, but I don't know what that says, but let's just plug in and I'll activate with Elton. These cables are super nice and light, which I would hope. I mean, they're only 150 amp cables. So let's pull out the Elton app, map, I guess nearby. I have it sorted to fast only, so let's go. So I guess, here we go. Recharge pit stop 5 meters away. 4 of 6. Oh, I guess, okay, that makes sense. I don't really see how it's 6. Let's see. I guess maybe it timed out. Okay, plugged in, preparing charging station. It drives me nuts that Apple Maps just takes over your lock screen. Let's try that again. Pit stop. Start charging. I think they should have a longer timeout set. There we go. Authenticating, preparing power delivery. Also has a payment terminal, which is nice. They even have a link for in English. So we are charging. We'll just charge here for a moment. And there we go. I think we'll hit 50 kilowatt. Yeah, there we go. 50 kilowatt charge detail. So 409 volt, 122 amps. And let's check out these cable management. There you go. Swing arm style. I'll use that to step over easier. Hey, you can see the massive above ground tank there. Think of that like your massive battery, I guess, for like a battery buffered system, though you have no choice but to do that. I don't know who makes these. Garrow. Customized LS4 UTMC. 230, 400 volt, 50 hertz, 63 amp, 3 phase. So I guess this could be, yeah, this is 22 kilowatt. And this is a super nice little spot. We're just kind of in the middle of nowhere. So Stavanger, Kristiansand is what that sign says over there. Super cool. So we'll just let it charge for a moment. I'll take some pictures and then we'll continue on. Well, it looks like we're already tapering down because the battery is not quite up to temperature. So let's stop that. Unplug. Put that back. Just like that. We added 3.4 kilowatt hour. Put the silly plug back. And we'll continue on. I believe we have about 25 minutes or so until we get to the turning point to go on the more mountain route. But this view is just crazy. Like the charging views here. Unbelievable. What do you think?
It's pretty. This one's actually at a restaurant. And a campground, I think.
Yeah, I don't really know.
I mean, it looks like it with the little canopy-ish things down there. And canopies, but like picnic
Things?
Yeah.
I see.
Every time I think about you, I bet this isn't how you 'Cause I go one step closer to bed before the midnight hour, and I'm just waiting for a faded lift ride home. One step closer to bed before the midnight hour, and I'm just waiting to do it all over. Don't keep sailing away into the edge of time, and wake up to find it all slipping away. In the dark, in the rain, I was breaking down. I've been falling into circles again. Is the future really possible without you? I'm realizing now I've been stuck here from the start. 'Cause I go one step closer to bed before the midnight hour, and I'm just waiting for a faded lift ride home. One step closer to bed before the midnight hour.
So we are headed to Mare. I think that's actually where we're going, but yeah, there's some charging right there, which is at Alti, which I guess is actually here. So this is actually where we're charging. I just didn't quite put the two together. And we'll just charge up for a bit because we're going a bit into a rural area. And there's not a whole lot of charging where we're going. I don't know if I went down a one-way or what I just did. There's an Ampera E, aka a Bolt. Look at that. And an Ioniq 5. More Kempower stations. Let's charge up. We are at 54% state of charge. And we are at a Mare station. Interesting. Looks like the Chatamo is actually down, but that's fine. So let's plug in, or actually let's activate first. So we're on 22013 to start charging. Let's see how quickly it responds. Shows starting charger. Okay, so it's authorized. Connect cable. Let's switch to English. I'm on the wrong side, oops. I'm used to Tesla charge ports when back in, apparently. Stupid flap. So there we have it. We're plugged in. Hold the plug steady. Interesting. We don't need to do that. Preparing to charge. There we go. I will grab the QR code. Now you can see we're ramping up. Only getting 50 kilowatts, which is, I guess, makes sense. And we'll figure out the rest of our route. Lots of campers here. This must be the turning point for people to go down the scenic route. What? Where? Oh. And I did want to give a shout out to the Elton app and the team there. This makes charging so much easier here in Norway and the rest of the Scandinavian countries, so Sweden, Denmark, I believe Finland. As an American, charging here can be pretty challenging otherwise because most of the network-specific apps you can't actually download because they're typically region-locked, which means you can't download it in the US App Store. Luckily, a lot of charging stations do have payment terminals now, which should work for American credit cards, but may not always work for American credit cards. And then you also have to deal with all of the credit card holds, especially if you're charging fairly frequently or trying out a lot of stations like I am. So the Elton app, it is slightly more expensive to use because they do have to make money somehow. But if you're a visitor, then it really doesn't matter that much because you're not going to be using it a ton. And actually, the more that you use it, you can actually get basically a discount as you charge more. So then you basically just do away with the slight markup and it ends up being the same price as just the ad hoc price. So definitely the best way to find charging stations and activate them as a foreigner, because if you're used to PlugShare in the US, PlugShare is not really used here. So let me show you the app quick. So I know I've showed a little bit already, but so it shows charging stations nearby. So 48 meters, which is where we are right now. There's also the Circle K with Ionity. There's a Circle K with Circle K. And it shows all these different charging networks. Then you can go into filter. You can sort by slow, normal, fast. You can also filter for 800 volt stations only, which if you're renting a Taycan or like a Chinese car or something, that would be super useful. That way you can make sure you're using the fastest charging. And then here it will show just a list of nearby stations. I believe this turns the filters off versus the map will show it only with your filters set. So that way, if you're just nearby, you can just use that. Or there's also the scan option. So a lot of charging stations in Europe have QR codes for activation. It also has a built-in route planner, which is integrated with a better route planner, or actually uses a better route planner as kind of the routing engine, as it will show when you do a route. Let's just do a demo here. Find route. There we go. So you can see they're powered by a better route planner. So there you can see if we left with 95% battery, we would have arrived there with 20% battery. It also shows you your weather on arrival. You can also see stations nearby. You also have a bunch of different options here. So like battery on arrival, between chargers, battery degradation, facilities. You can choose different operators. You can view charging options along the route. And then you can actually also activate superchargers with your Elton card via the Tesla app, though hopefully that changes in the future so that you can actually just use the Elton app, because right now it's a little bit clumsy and as far as I can tell does not work for Americans, because Tesla seems to hide the add charging card option when you have an American account versus a European account. So lots of different options here. You can also see the pricing up there. You can see all the different charging stations, live status. You can navigate to them, and it is a pretty awesome app. Different charging networks will show you different information here depending on what the Elton app gets from the charging network. But for right now on Mare, we're charging for 6 minutes. We've charged 2.6 kilowatt hour. And then we also have the Kempower live data, which is pretty slick. Let's see the charging curve here. And you can see that the vehicle, the projection that they're expecting here. And you can see that the vehicle is limiting the charging rather than the station. Well, I was silly and I had the charge limit set to 70% from yesterday. So having to unplug, and then I'll start a new charging session to charge it up to 80% or so while we run to the restroom. So I guess let's go back here. I don't know if it'll give me a QR code. I just wanted to try that if possible. I guess no, that's a QR code for support, I guess. So no QR code to activate. So I guess I will just activate it on the Elton app again. So done. We'll use the same one here. This is 22013. Start charging, start charging. I set the charge limit already higher. Let's scan the new QR code. Starting charging. There we go. Scan the new QR code. And we're ramping up, so we'll use the restroom somewhere here, I guess. This is a cool spot. There's a lot of caravans. That bolt color is nice, or I guess Ampera E color is nice. I don't know what's going on with that, but it looks cool. So we get Bethany out of the car and then find some restrooms. What? Well, we went inside, used the restroom, grabbed some snacks, wandered around a little bit. We're at 91% state of charge, so let's stop that. We do have to use the silly key fob. It's surprising that this one doesn't have a button in the charge port like a lot of CCS2 cars do. Put that back. We added just shy of 13 kilowatt hour on that session. Put the silly flap back. There's a bee flying around, which I don't like. Don't like bees. I think it's gone. Let's get it into the car. Hopefully the bee didn't follow me. We're showing 329 kilometers of estimated range. Let's just see how much we've driven so far today. Since start, we've driven 143 kilometers at 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour, and including yesterday, we've driven 500 kilometers or 507 at 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour. Since charge, 26 kilometers. And let me get the route set up and we'll continue on. So we've got two different routes. This is the motorway route of sorts, but we're going to be taking the more coastal route. It only adds 11 minutes, which really isn't that much. It's actually slightly shorter. So let's get to it. And then that puts us about halfway to Stavanger from here. We're already about halfway from Lillesand. We started roughly here this morning or so. So we need to go all the way up to here-ish, to Lillesand. Or yeah, sorry, here to Stavanger. Something I did want to note, if you're new on this channel and you're just watching this as someone considering going to Norway and renting an EV, the amount of times that I have charged is not representative at all of what normal people would do. If you are a normal person, you probably would have just charged at the first stop we did today, at the one with the canopy, and then you would have probably charged to 80-90% or whatever, and that would take you all the way to Stavanger. I am an EV nerd. This is a channel about EVs, and people like to see charging stations, and I like to visit charging stations. And most people also would not stop for 5 minutes at a time like we did at the 50 kilowatt unit, or stop without needing to stop. I would generally recommend drain the car down as low as you're comfortable. If you're in a foreign country and you're not used to an EV, that's probably 20%. And just look for the nearest charging station. Use the Elton app, use your Apple Maps, use your in-car nav, depending on what kind of car you have. And most likely there's a charging station quite close to wherever you are, or within, I don't know, 20 kilometers or less probably. And just go there and charge up to 80% and then repeat. I mean, unless you're going into a remote area like we are right now, kind of. But even there's charging options. They're just not fast charging options. You're going to be just fine. These views are just insane. It's like Yellowstone National Park in Maine kind of views is the best way to describe it, I guess. But unbelievable. And this is just everywhere. This is just a random pull-off on this road. Norway is so dang beautiful. Truly insane views. What do you think, Bethany?
It's pretty.
I don't know, I think that's like a bed and breakfast or something. But just stopped to wander for a moment. There are lots of twisty roads. Let's see if I can get up here at all. Not really, not without hurting myself. Oh, maybe. There are like little bugs on there. I don't like that. But you can see the crazy views. Oh. Just every direction you turn, it's views. Views on views on views, to quote Kyle in Colorado. Craziness. Now that is an old school charger. It even has cobwebs up top. But there's 50 kilowatt charging here in the middle of nowhere. That's an old FSE unit even. Crazy to see. And it seems to still work, which is the even crazier part. You've got AC charging with the socket there. You have DC CCS2 and you have CHAdeMO. So cool. We made it to our first waypoint here in Egersund, which, just for reference, there's Kristiansand down here, Lillesand where we started. So we've made it kind of all the way up here. Beautiful driving. And I just kind of plotted out the rest of our drive. Looks like we have about an hour and a half or so left. So about 34 minutes to this waypoint and then about 50 minutes there. About 52 miles to go. And it is, where's the time? About 4:15 in the afternoon here. So I'm just going to continue through, maybe find a spot for a restroom, maybe a snack, and keep going. Well, we're in a town called, I think, Ogna, something like that. Bethany needed to use the restroom, so we stopped here. We've averaged 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour over the last 86 kilometers and 4.4 so far today. There is a 50 kilowatt old ABB recharge station here right next to the car wash, which is a very strange location. There's like a Joker convenience store, some gas pumps, car wash, 250 kilowatt, and then two AC charging points. This is such a strange setup because it's like behind the sidewalk. This would never work in the US because it would not be even remotely ADA compliant. So let's pull this up and actually try the QR code function on Elton, because we have a QR code there this time. So let's do scan QR code. If it wants to focus, there we go. Okay, start charging. Velkommen. Starting charger. It should authorize here in a second. That says plug in first. I guess I'll plug in and see what happens. I have no idea what that says. Let's see if it puts in English. There we go. Charging is delayed until power is available. That's normal. Preparing. Just gonna look at that, but right there. This is saying it cannot share power. And here you can see this is a very old Terra 53. These are only 500 volt output up to 125 amps. So we're at 70% and we should be charging here in just a moment. I believe that's all we'll pull. So we got one of these. We've got a little distribution cabinet here. Another Terra 53. Very famous images. Those are on just about every charger. This one's actually in English, interestingly. But here you can see the whole setup. There's a house under construction here. We have 22 kilowatt AC charging. And you've got a trampoline, I guess. So let me roll up the windows. Let's see if I can do it on the key fob here. If the old Volkswagen trick works. Press and hold. There we go. Press and hold. Let's head inside. See you guys in a few minutes. There's a car wash. And we've got truck, diesel, and everything here. And air. What'd you think of this place?
It's nice. It was actually handicap friendly and had a baby changing station, which is a first.
Interesting. Let's see how much power we've added. There's energy, 3.4 kilowatt hour. Let's open the door for the princess. These doors require a firm shut. It's like a Rivian. So let's stop charging. We've added, that's 4.4 times 3.6. So I don't know, call it 20 miles or so of range in the 6 minutes we've been here. We do have to use the silly key fob to unlock the charge port. Take that off. Put it back. And just like that, once I shut this, we are ready to go again. And we've added a bit of range, so even less to think about. And that's why generally I keep my charge limit on road trips set to 100%. Also, there's a train, which is hilariously named Columbus with a K. It's a nice looking train, actually. But yeah, you can actually use public transit in the middle of nowhere. There's an ID.3 and an ID.3. And an XC40 at the diesel pumps, which is strange. So, charged, 5% or so, and we'll get going again. Had to stop and take some photos here. Crazy, crazy, crazy views. You have farmland here. You have this like rocky beach kind of thing. You've got sheep literally right there and there, and a whole bunch over there, flock, pack, whatever they're called. Got these like kind of cool concrete benches. Oh, there's a whole bunch here. They kind of just blend in with the rocks. I guess they're keeping them in their pen area with this like rock fence kind of thing going on. I don't really know. But this is awesome. It definitely smells like the sheep, but that's okay. And It's very windy. We've got the ocean, and so lucky to be here. Like, just look at that view. Well, we arrived in Stavanger. We're at 59% state of charge. Let's pump the trip here. We did 303 kilometers, about 186 miles, something like that. 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So that's really good efficiency. Including yesterday, we did 667 kilometers at 4.2 miles per kilowatt hour. That's like 225 watt hour per mile, something like that. And since we charged 73 kilometers ago when we went to use the restroom on those 50 kilowatts, we've been averaging 5.1 miles per kilowatt hour. So that's really awesome too. I think we had some downhill there, so that definitely helped. Battery is, warm. It's got 30 kilowatt hour in it, which in my Lightning would be like nothing, but in this is over 50%. What'd you think of today?
I'd say it was good for the most part, other than my bout of not feeling well.
we had a lot of switchbacks and stuff in the mountains. I really enjoyed driving them. Her stomach did not enjoy them as much. She was fine, but I had to slow down.
It was more the like stop and go of like Punch Coast that did it, because once you just like maneuvered, it was fine.
I slowed down quite a bit. But we are now in the St. Olav parking garage, I think it's called. P-house, as they call it here.
No clue.
We're staying at the Clarion Hotel here in Stavanger. We're doing a boat tour tomorrow. I'll probably include some clips of in tomorrow's video, so definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. But yeah, we're gonna go up to our hotel, get checked in. We have to like figure out our clothes for tonight and then put it in the suitcase so that we don't have to bring all of it up, because it's just a real hassle to bring it all up. So we'll just leave most of our clothes in the car and bring some of it up. Yeah, today was a very beautiful drive. Definitely recommend doing the coastal route if you're doing this journey along the coast. Definitely make the effort to go on the actual coast and not just on the like motorway on the coast-ish.
Yeah. No, it was very pretty views.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the views. Definitely comment about them down below, but we'll see you guys in the hotel room. Give you guys a tour, see what it's like. We made it to our hotel. Bethany, are you going to give the grand tour?
No.
Okay. So it has the typical Euro style main switch situation, which I find very annoying. We've got a mirror and a nice little drop zone kind of thing. I'm assuming these are not complimentary and these are mini bar. Yeah, room service charge. Got social stuff. We actually have a luggage holder. What a concept. Decent sized bed with little nightstand-ish things. Not quite a nightstand.
Phone holders.
Maybe we have a heat pump, or this is just heat. Not entirely sure. I think it might just be heat. Oh yeah, not cooling. We've got actually a pretty nice view. We're on the 7th floor. This has 14 floors. So, can't complain about that. Looks like there's a roast restaurant and bar over there. There's the Scenic right there. Let's see how these open. Oh, they have to. I guess these have multiple latches. Strange. These would never open all the way like this in the US. But it's actually pretty nice out. A nice little table. The usual dual duvet cover. We got even a little piece of chocolate, I think this is. It's the only logical thing I can think of. Let's check out the bathroom. There's a big tub. And then it has the floor drain for the whole place. So that way they can clean nicely. That's a very large sink area. Not being a counter. A shower should be warm, wet, and free. And with the half piece of glass here, it will probably be the whole bathroom is wet. But a pretty nice place, actually. Bethany, what do you think?
It's pretty. You like the view?
You like the view?
And the birds.
There's what?
Birds.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely have to go up to the 14th floor and
Ladybug.
so random.
It's right there.
We'll definitely have to go up to the 14th floor just to check out the sky bar view, apparently. Because if the view is this nice from the 7th floor, then I would imagine it's even nicer on the 14th floor. Especially if you can see more angles. Because this is pretty cool. Are you tired? Did you work really hard not driving?
Mm-hmm. Making sure we stayed alive.
And how'd you do that?
By being a backseat driver.
You weren't in the back seat.
Passenger driver?
Okay. Right seat driver.
Whatever you want to call it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Bethany, any final words on today's trip?
Worth doing.
That says a lot from Bethany. See you guys on the next one.